In a heated exchange on Fox News The 5, host Greg Gutfeld disagreed with co-host Harold Ford Jr.'s suggestion that former President Donald Trump was deserving of all 4 indictments against him. Hi, I'm Steve Inman with Resist the Mainstream, covering the news that the mainstream won't. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. Well, the indictments in question stem from a grand jury in Fulton County, Georgia, which indicted Trump and 18 others for their alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results in the state. Ford Jr. stated that Trump's status as a presidential candidate does not exempt him from criminal charges and that the indictments are legally justified. Gutfeld, in response, questioned the motivations behind the charges. Take a quick look at this.
I differ with my friend the judge on this for a couple of reasons. First, I lost an election before for the United States Senate back in 2006 in Tennessee, and there were those that told me to contest it. I believed the vote count, and I lost by a few dozen thousand votes. You have every right to contest any race. My father, when he first was elected to Congress in 1974, they reported that he had lost that night. He went down to the Election Commission and confronted them and said, I want to get an understanding of what's going on here. It turned out they had not counted 8 of the biggest Democratic precincts in the city, and he won his race.
Do you think it was on purpose?
We learned later it was definitely on purpose, and it might even have had a racial dimension to it. But once you exhaust, and I heard Governor Christie, once you exhaust the legal avenues, and in the state of Georgia, you remember, they counted those votes 3 times. They counted them the night of. They then counted again using the machines, and they counted a manual count, which President Trump had every right to ask for. Once all of that happened, to your point, Judge, you're exactly right on the fact this will be to his state of mind. Now, the fact that President Trump is running for president, should that be some protection? He chose to run for president. So it's not as if that becomes a defense, if you are being charged or you're being a target of investigation, all you got to do is run for president and say, you know what, you're going to get in the middle of my campaign. If you do, I don't mean to be facetious or flippant about it, but it does do that. Finally, this case here is probably the most interesting for the lawyers because, as we all noted, he cannot, if former President Trump is elected again to be president, he cannot pardon himself if he's found guilty on these Georgia charges. So this is a 4th indictment. I think if you look at it legally, and I listened to Jonathan Turley, I listened to Andy McCarthy, I listened to Chris Christie on the network all day today. I thought they said some things I agreed with. They said some things that made me learn. But the one takeaway I had was this is what federalism allows states to do, to enforce their laws here. And we'll see, to your point, that what you said is exactly right, Judge. His state of mind, if they have evidence showing his state of mind is different than what he claims, he'll have more of a problem.
You don't think this is totally over the top as a four? I mean, even when everything you say makes sense, except it's all bullshit. It's all nonstop. We know this is designed to banish and isolate and to destroy a political outsider. Who predicted this? Chuck Schumer. Remember he said, don't mess with intel agencies.
So right.
Don't mess with the intel agencies. They'll arrest your team and keep it off the field.
Do you not think he's done anything to deserve any of this?
He is probably one of the most troubling, consequential figures in history. But no. He doesn't deserve any of this.
And by the way, why didn't they indict him until he announced he was running for president?
Well, they probably had to do
give me a break.
I don't know the answer to that, but I would also think if he indicted them right away, I don't mean to interrupt Charlie, but if they indicted him immediately, the answer might have been, you guys didn't do a full investigation. How could you have done this?
Oh, baloney. It doesn't take
he was
2.5 years
hey,
to get indicted.
guys, he was going to say something about anything. It was always going to be political, or it was always going to be too rushed, or it was always going to be too late. It was never going to say, oh, actually, you know what? You guys caught me. You're right. That was never going to be the case.
Doesn't it seem the only answer that these Democrats have is just by saying nobody's above the law, but they don't actually know what these indictments are and how they're actually going to stick? Yeah, of course nobody's above the law. And nobody should be able to get away with the banana republic tactics we're witnessing today against a leading candidate for the 2024 presidential election. The only people that can get away with these types of tactics are the Democrats. If you're not Democrat, guess what? You're a criminal. Again, I'm Steve Inman with Resist the Mainstream, covering the news the mainstream won't. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you then.